Hello, welcome back into Foolish Club Media. This is another Foolish Club post-game show. I am Steven Serda, joined by my guy, Rocky Magaña. And Rocky, it is not a victorious Super Bowl rematch for the Kansas City Chiefs. They fall to the Eagles 20-17 in their home opener at Arrowhead Stadium. I'm not going to sit here and act like it's all over, Rocky, because I'm seeing a lot of people that are doing that right now. There was some positives on the defensive side of the ball to take away from today's Chiefs performance, but it was just a really frustrating contest because right now the Chiefs simply aren't a good enough football team to beat a team like the Eagles. And in years past, even when you thought maybe you could discount the Chiefs a little bit because of talent, they always had enough to overcome and always found ways to do it. And right now, through 2 weeks of the NFL season, it's not just that they started 0-2. It's that at no point during either of these games did it seem like the Chiefs were good enough to actually compete with either one of the two NFL teams that they have faced so far to open the season. And today was just another frustrating one. I know at the end of the day, it's only a 3-point loss, but anybody who was really watching that game didn't feel like the Chiefs were going to come back and win this thing in that fourth quarter. You close the spread a little bit because you hit Tyquan Thornton late on a 49-yard touchdown, and that's great. But can we get that in the first quarter? Can we stop getting those big plays when things are already out of reach and you might as well just take the shots now because you don't have anything else to lose? Because that's what they've been doing, and those are fun on paper, garbage time points, but they don't mean anything when it comes to winning football games. And through 2 weeks, the Kansas City Chiefs simply don't look like a very good football team.
Well, it sucks because that Kelsey miss in the end zone was the game right there. That's a 10-point swing. That's the difference between a 4-point lead and a 10-point deficit. That single play right there. And the Chiefs didn't play good enough today. Travis Kelsey did not play good enough today. Travis Kelsey, in the biggest moment of the game, made a negative play that cost the team the game. Let's be honest. He did. And for back-to-back weeks, when the defense needed to get a stop, they failed to do so. We just got to call what it is. And the Chiefs came out flat again. They didn't start the game. They didn't start the game fast again. They came out slow. They came out overly conservative. And I swear to God, if Patrick Mahomes is this team's leading rusher this year, I'm going to be so pissed off that they didn't draft a running back before the 7th round. Because right now it feels like we have nothing in the running game. We have absolutely no running game whatsoever. Yeah. Isaiah Pacheco's vision is terrible. Not a newsflash. Kareem Hunt has no juice left in his legs. Not a newsflash. Brashard Smith is a gadget player at best and a 7th round pick. Not a newsflash. And Elijah Mitchell's been completely non-existent so far in this season, right? Like the Chiefs acted like they had plenty in the backfield coming into the season. They have nothing. They have absolutely nothing in the backfield. The defense isn't playing good enough. And here's the real crappy part is that I think the Chiefs win this game if they have Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy. Yeah. I don't even think it's even close. I think the Chiefs put up 10 more points and they win by two scores in this game probably if they have those two players, right? But they don't because of different circumstances. And it sucks that the whole first half of this season is going to be just a drag, and we're going to have to fight late in the season to try to win the division or get a wild card in order to possibly make a push. And I think we're still a good team. I think we still have what it takes to go deep in the playoffs this year. It just sucks that our talent is not on the field right now.
Well, if it makes you feel good, the Broncos did also lose on a game-winning field goal to the Indianapolis Colts. So, but the Chiefs are still at the end of the day, because everybody else in the AFC West is 1-0 as of right now, and the Chargers and Raiders play each other on Monday night. So after week 2, the Chiefs are still going to be at the bottom of the AFC West, Rocky.
They're going to be 2 games back. They're going to be 2 games back after 2 weeks.
So obviously this is a tough way to start the season, and I really expected better from them against the Chargers, but I do think the Chargers are a legitimate team. Like, I think the Chargers are going to be really good this year. And the Eagles are still really good, defending Super Bowl champions, even though I do think that they've got a few more holes on their roster than they had last season. They don't have quite the insane depth that they had across the board last year. But it just, man, I'm so sick of hearing Matt Nagy and Andy Reid like talk about, oh, we got to improve on this, we got to improve on that. Like, it's frustrating that they don't have Rashee Rice right now. It's frustrating that Xavier Worthy got hurt 3 plays into the season, and now he maybe he'll be available next week. Maybe it's going to be a couple of weeks, but he's basically got a torn labrum because Travis Kelce ran into him. Like, and then you have to navigate not having Rashee Rice for the first 6 weeks, and it's just really frustrating, but it's also annoying because the Chiefs were pushing for the suspension. The Chiefs wanted the suspension early. So what was the backup plan? Because I understand you're operating at a talent deficit now and you expected to have Worthy available, but that's how football goes, Rocky. Like, I don't think Hollywood Brown is the same type of explosive player that he was back in the day with Baltimore at this point in his career, but he's still a decent wide receiver. Tyquan Thornton is winning down the field. You just don't hit him. Like, and you finally connected on one big one, but Mahomes had 2 other ones where he just missed him. And then, but also they're not trying that stuff early in the game. They've just totally reverted to the dink and dunk offense. And they keep talking about starting fast and executing, and they literally never start fast. They literally never do it. They don't even try to do it. And it's incredibly frustrating. And it's so deflating now at this point because, like, I think the defense played pretty well today. It was a really nice bounce back performance from the Chiefs defense after a big letdown performance in week 1 against the Chargers. But their offense is just so frustrating to watch. And yes, I get it. Like, you don't have as much talent over there because you're missing two key components. But then also, like, Mahomes had to drag you on his back and lead the team in rushing again this week, and then take you on after we got Omar Norman Lott sighting, and it's like a monster sack of Jalen Hurts that felt like it was like a turning point in the game because it felt like the Eagles were going on that back-breaking drive to take the lead and put it away late in the 3rd quarter, and then you get that sack from your rookie, and all of a sudden Eagles have to punt a couple of plays later, and then Mahomes takes you on this long drive, marches you down the field, got a couple of explosive plays here and there within the drive as well to like get you juiced, and then Travis Kelce can't hang on the ball. It's intercepted, and then that leads to the Eagles go-ahead score, and it's just the self-inflicted stuff that is so frustrating because I don't want to make excuses for not having Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy. Like, that's football, but they can't be this disorganized. Like, they can't have this many self-inflicted issues every week, and it's just never ending on the offensive side of the ball now. You're muted, Rocky.
There's the deal. It's like when you're operating at the talent deficit the Chiefs are operating at, you have to execute perfectly, and they're not doing it. They're having, like JC says, they're having self-inflicted wounds here, right? Like they're having stupid penalties again from Jawan Taylor in right tackle where he plays like crap, and then they sit there and Travis Kelce drops an amazing pass by Patrick Mahomes in the end zone that turns into an interception. The next drive, he drops another pass that he should have had, right? Like at some point, like, if you don't have your best players on the field and you're at a talent deficit, then you have to execute out of your mind. And the Chiefs aren't doing that. And even though and here's the thing is, the defense was shorthanded today. They lost Mike Dana. They lost Christian Fulton. They didn't have 2 of their starters in the game, and they still played pretty well. They still held up their end of the bargain for the most part. But you have the offense until that Tyquan Thornton big play. The offense was shut out in the second half, right? Like you can't have a team that starts slow and then it's almost shut out in the second half, right? Like it's inexcusable at this point, especially if you are a team that's made 3 straight Super Bowls and you have your eyes on another one. And I don't care if like whatever you want to say, like I'm not, the sky's not falling, the season's not over. Anything people want to say like that, I think this is still a good team. I think they can still get it figured out. I think they probably beat Detroit next week, honestly. But at the end of the day,
they play the Giants next week.
Oh, sorry, Giants next week. For some reason, I don't know why I thought Detroit. Sorry. They definitely beat the Giants next week. And they both
Sunday Night Football. That the Giants lost today, but they were pretty awesome against the Cowboys.
I mean, did you see Russell Wilson's overtime interception? I got zero faith in Russell Wilson to beat these Chiefs. Like even the Chiefs are 0-2. Like the sky isn't falling. The Chiefs are going to be like the Chiefs might be 3-3 when Rashee Rice comes back. The Chiefs might be 3-3 to start the season, but I think that they have what it takes to go on a run and save the season. But you got to stop shooting yourself in the foot. Like when you're down guys, you have to execute. And we won't get into it right now, but Tramari Connor, geez Louise, Steven Serda, like he's ruining the whole defense early in the game. Like he single-handedly cost the team 10 points today.
It's and Christian Fulton, you mentioned it, Rocky, leaves early with an ankle injury, and this is after he was working his way back from an offseason knee procedure, and so now don't know what the status is on him moving forward. But I guess an encouraging thing for the secondary is that Noel Williams got some snaps and made a couple of plays in this game, so hopefully we see more of Noel Williams. But just offensively, like, I've never been team like, oh, fire Matt Nagy and, like it's the offense has gone downhill since he's come back or whatever. Like, because I do think that this is Andy Reid. And I think that the protection issues have like scarred this team offensively over the past couple of years, that they still haven't totally found a way to get back from that. And the protection wasn't great today either, Rocky. It's still like Josh Simmons is still a work in progress, but he's still showing all of the signs that he can be a special player. The guards, Kingsley, like still a problem. Jawan Taylor still having some issues. But I think too, like I wasn't like overwhelmed by the Eagles' defensive line. I do think that Vic Fangio was dialing up a lot of blitzes and like bringing heat at Patrick Mahomes throughout the day. So I don't think the offensive line was a total disaster, but it feels like they simply don't trust the offensive line still. Like Mahomes doesn't have full trust in the offensive line, and Andy Reid doesn't have full trust in the offensive line. And that's why early in these games, they're basically just stunting what they can do and forcing themselves into these short, quick, like dump off offenses. And that's why they just go 3 and out. Like, that's why it's always like at this point, remember when we used to be like Andy Reid's like first 15, like automatic score? Like, when's the last time you felt like that about the Chiefs on offense, Rocky? You basically basically when they come out, you're just like, yeah, they're probably just going to go 3 and out. Like at this point, like that's how I feel about them on the offensive side of the ball. And it is frustrating because you still had a chance to win this game. You're still competitive against the Chargers, and you're only competitive in that game because Patrick Mahomes was just playing out of his mind to keep you in that game. But all of this is frustrating because it's like you can still see that they're the team that can go win these games because Mahomes is such a special player. It's just all of the self-inflicted stuff that they're not overcoming now. And that's why it's hard to live like that, Rocky. That's why you can't be this team that does this year after year, winning these one possession games, because a lot of that does wind up coming down to coaching and talent in the most critical moments of the game. But sooner or later, that's going to catch up with you, just like it does every other team in the NFL.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It's like, that's the thing is like football is a weird sport. Like sometimes the ball doesn't bounce in your direction, and it definitely didn't bounce in their direction today. Like there's a world where 8 times out of 10, that ball doesn't deflect into the defensive back's hands for that interception with Kelsey, and it just falls to the ground, and the Chiefs live to fight another day. Right? Like there's like that's kind of a fluke play a little bit that it deflects into the defender's hands, and that Kelsey doesn't catch that ball. I will say this on that play. Bravo, Josh Simmons, for saving that touchdown. Like, good hustle, young man. Like, you saved a touchdown, and you're an offensive lineman, right? So for that on that play alone, Josh Simmons, great job. He played pretty well today, especially coming back from being injured. But yeah, you're right. You can't live on this knife's edge on a consistent basis and just say we're going to trust that Patrick Mahomes is going to win the game for us, right? And so I'm not too concerned about like, like who gets on Kelsey, right? For like making the mistake. Kelsey has shown in the past that he's the first guy to say like I'm the one that effed up. Like I guarantee if you listen to New Heights this week, the first thing he's going to do is talk about how he cost the team the game and how he's super pissed off at himself and blah, 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 and all that. And that's all good and fine. The issue is that in the past, the Chiefs had the largest margin of error of any team in the NFL because of Patrick Mahomes. And right now, that margin of error is not the same that it used to be, right?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are going to say with like the Eagles and everything, like, oh, the tush push should be illegal. Like, I'm not, like, honest to God, I don't think the shift should have been outlawed in baseball. I don't think the tush push should be outlawed in football. Like, you have the same number of guys on the field, find a way to stop it, or don't let them get to 3rd and inches, right? Or 2nd and inches, right? Just keep them at 3rd and long, and the tush push is out of the game, right? Like I don't like every team has the same rule set. Every team can do the tush push if they want to, right? So I don't give 2 craps if the Eagles get first downs on the tush push. If you can't stop it, that's on you. And the defense played a lot better today. I think Steve Spagnuolo had a great game plan. Like, hats off to Steve Spagnuolo. The defense played much better this week than they did last week. But at the end of the day, it's 11 guys against 11 guys, on a snap by snap basis. And the Chiefs did not do enough to win this game for a second straight week.
And I want to make it clear that I'm not like, oh no, like the sky is falling. This is finally the Chiefs undoing Rocky. And like, that everybody who's been trying to, be ahead of the curve and pick the Chiefs to finally take a slide. Like, I still don't believe that this is the season where they're going to be right about that. Like, yeah, inevitably, maybe it will be a drop off, or, it'll be like with the Bengals where like you just simply like you get too injured and you lose too many games and you play like shit too much early in the season and you just aren't a playoff team anymore, despite the fact that you've got Joe Burrow. I think Mahomes is too good to like allow that to happen. But I do think that the Chargers are a problem. I do think that the Broncos defense is like a problem. Like, I think you got more problems in the division than you have had in years past. And then you factor in the fact that Baltimore and Buffalo are out there, like in the conference. But
their defenses are garbage.
But I think the Chiefs are going to be fine. I don't think Baltimore's defense is garbage, but I think they need some pass rush help. They really need their rookie Mike Green to like figure it out and like turn into a star, because their pass rush isn't good enough. But I think Buffalo's defense, even though they shut down the Jets today, I do think that Buffalo's defense is super questionable. But I still think the Chiefs are gonna be fine. Like, if they lose to the Giants and go 0-3, then yeah, I'm probably going to change my tune a little bit about that. But like, the Ravens, I think they're going to play the Ravens well. Like, the Jaguars, like, have looked like anything but a team that's on the rise. Like, they're really struggling through the first 2 weeks of the season, even though they won in week 1. And like, and the Lions looked better today, but the Lions still look like they're a team that's like, they can easily be beat. Like, I don't think that we're convinced the Lions are like this full blown, like, high powered attack that they had been the last couple of years with Ben Johnson as their play caller. And so like, I think the Chiefs can go on a run here and get some things figured out. I'm not writing off the season after 2 games. I'm just frustrated that it's been years now and we're still talking about the same things and the same inconsistencies and the same things that are just really frustrating to watch week after week. So I just I don't know what the answer is. Because it can't just be wait till Rashee Rice comes back. Like, no, you got to make it work with who you have. And I think that's dumb. Like everybody just saying like, let's wait for week 6, Rocky. Let's just wait till we see what week 6. Well, what happens if you get to week 6 and you've already lost too many games and you can't get yourself out of a hole? Like, I don't think that is the way it should be approached. You got to make it work with who you have so that when you do get Rashee Rice back, you're legitimately better. Like, that's what they need to be doing right now. And it doesn't feel like we're getting that consistently at all from the Chiefs through 2 weeks.
No, like you think with like when they said Rashee Rice is going to be out for 6 weeks, you thought to yourself, if the Chiefs can be 4-2 when Rice comes back, they're going to be in a good spot, right? Well, they're 0-2 now. So now the Chiefs got to win 4 straight games to be in that sort of situation. Now you're just hoping maybe the Chiefs are 500, right? When Rice comes back and they have something to build on, right? I mean, because if they're 2-4 or they're 1-5, like that's a hell of a hole to get out of as a football team. And the Chiefs have done something similar to that in the past and gone on these kind of winning streaks. But like the division's too good at that point. Like you're hoping for a wild card at that point, right? Like you just had too much ground to make up on these football teams in your division if you come after that slow of a start. And if one player if one player or 2 players can cause that much of a slide, then that really speaks to your total team depth and quality of a team on the whole. If you can't make up for their absences, right? And so, oh man, Elliot, you hit the nail on the head there. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm watching the Royals offense. And I don't want to feel like it's like this, like the thing is like, yeah, the Chiefs hit a couple long plays today, but like it does feel to an extent like they're playing small ball, right? Like like you want them to be able to be a team that can set up a 3-run homer, but they don't. It feels like they're like doing like a suicide squeeze to get a run across the plate.
Yeah. And yeah, and the Mahomes rushing stuff is like, it's great, and it's nice seeing him just say screw it and put the entire offense on his back. And like we've always known that he's been capable of rushing this way, but he's so vital to everything that you do. I would prefer he not have to run this much. But it's like they literally through 2 weeks, they just go on long stretches where literally nothing else works. And he feels like he doesn't have a choice. And I mean, Ron's right. It's not sustainable for him to have to play like that. It's not sustainable for him to have to run that much just to put the offense on his back. Like they need help. And it's frustrating that, he didn't get it from Travis Kelce today. And that wound up being the deciding play is like Kelce not hanging on to that football. But also, like, I know there's going to be a lot of like Kelce who's accountable for Kelce now because Kelce wants to keep everybody accountable or whatever. Like Travis Kelce's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and Travis Kelce has had drops before. He's had impactful negative plays before for the Kansas City Chiefs. It sucks that happened today, but whatever. You move on from it and you deal with it and you address it, and hopefully next week he's better. He's still in the receiving game, Rocky, like didn't have a ton of catches, but he finishes 4 with 61 yards and he's the Chiefs' leading wide receiver. like Hollywood Brown has 5 catches for 30 yards today. Again, Hollywood Brown, just all of that short stuff around the line of scrimmage. That's literally like hardly any positive gain because Hollywood Brown just catches the ball and goes down as soon as he gets hit. And so he gets 5 catches for 30 yards, and then Thornton winds up with a decent looking stat line because he catches that 49-yard touchdown late in the game. Like Travis Kelce's going to have big moments again, and he's going to make that up to the team and to Chiefs fans. So like I'm not going to start turning on Travis Kelce because he's old now and you think that he doesn't care enough about football or something, and was probably going to be his final season of football. But I do want to talk about the defensive side of the ball a little bit, Rocky, because I do think they were one of the positives. And coming out of week 1, I was really worried about the defense and the way they played against the Chargers, specifically the secondary, which was not good enough in week 1. And today they were decent. Like, McDuffie gives up the long ball to Devontae Smith late in the game after really they had kind of just shut down this Eagles passing attack for the most part all day. And even Saquon Barkley, like, finishes with 88 yards and a touchdown, but it takes him 22 carries just to get there. Like, overall, the defense played really well. Like, this wasn't an explosive offensive game for the Eagles by any stretch. And like, and we saw like what these guys are capable of doing, how explosive Devontae Smith and AJ Brown can be, like in the Super Bowl last year. Like, this is still a really, really good offensive team, and Spags had a great game plan. And I thought, like, even after losing Mike Dana and Christian Fulton early, we saw all these young guys rotate in and like have their moments in today's game on the defensive side of the ball against a team as good as the Eagles. So I think that's really encouraging for the Chiefs, that they had Noel Williams, they had Omar Norman-Lott, and they had Ashton Gelati, and all of those guys had moments in the game where they made you notice them. And I think that's really huge for the Chiefs moving forward on that side of the ball.
I agree 100%. Early in the game, Shamari Connor was like single-handedly sinking this defense and keeping the Philadelphia offense on the field. Like, he's just so bad in run defense and at reading the play and taking bad angles and reaction time. Like, he just cannot be on the line of scrimmage anymore. And the fact that Steve Spagnuolo keeps on running him out there is super disappointing. Because besides that, you're right, this defense played pretty much out of its mind against a really, really good offense. Like even that Trent McDuffie long pass that he gave up, it's like that's a 50-50 ball coin flip. Like that's a hard ball in order to defend, just because it's up in the air for so long. You don't know where it's at. You're trying to look back and find it. But I mean, the defense kept the intensity. They kept bringing it. They Spags' blitzes. He was really good at dialing up blitzes 9 times out of 10 today. The being down Christian Fulton and Mike Dana definitely hurt a little bit, because it did make the young guys step up. But the young guys did step up for the most part. And like you said, they had their impactful moments. Like Omar Norman-Lott's 1 sack he had today was worth 15 snaps. Like, that was a heck of a play. Like, that spin move and just the lick that he laid on Jalen Hurts and when he laid it on him. That was kind of like almost like a tone setting play for this defense. And I even thought Chris Jones, even though his stat line wasn't crazy, Chris Jones played really well today. And Chris Jones played within the system today and looked really good. And so it sucks that the defense needed to make a couple of stops, and the defense didn't play good enough in the fourth quarter to get the stops so we needed them. But on the whole, the defense made everything hard for the Eagles today. Nothing was easy for either team, and both defenses should come out of this game feeling pretty good about themselves, and both offenses should come out of this game looking for answers.
I thought the Chiefs linebackers played better this week too. They had a really rough week 1. I think overall as a defensive unit, they were better, but I don't know if I want to read that much into the struggles of the Chiefs edge rushers in this game, Rocky, because we just know how good the Eagles tackles are. We just know how good that offensive line is, but I don't think that we saw anything in this game that we didn't already know about this pass rush. They don't have a ton of juice. They're not the most explosive pass rush in the NFL. They got a lot of guys that are effort guys, and you're hoping that hopefully Mike Dana's injury isn't like a long-term thing, because if he's down for a while, then all of a sudden you're feeling pretty thin along the defensive line rotation, and it's a lot more of Charles Omenihu and George Karlaftis, and Charles Menahu and George Karlaftis are fine players, but they're those effort sack guys. Like they're just simply not going to blow guys up off the line of scrimmage right at the snap of the ball and get to the quarterback in 2.5 seconds. Like that's not really what their game has always been. And so when you have guys who aren't getting that kind of push around the edge, then it's easier to just lock in that attention to Chris Jones. And I still, I agree with you, Rocky, even though like Chris Jones didn't wind up with multiple sacks or something like that today. He still had an impactful game. He still played really well. And it would be nice if Omar Norman-Lott, now that he's back and healthy, like it would be nice if we could really see him develop into something, because that's why they drafted him. Like, yes, he's an interior defensive lineman, but they drafted him because he's got that athleticism and he's got that pass rush ability from the interior. And if the Chiefs can actually have somebody else that defenses have to worry about, that would be really helpful down the stretch. I think that's my biggest concern, but I also don't want to overreact to that because the Seagulls offensive line is just simply that good that it's hard for anybody to get after Jalen Hurts because they've got so many all pros on that offensive line.
100%. And yeah, it's a hard day to judge the edge rushers on, like you said. But I mean, like it's not like sure, Spags has to dial up pressure whenever he wants to get pressure right now, like early. If he wants to get fast pressure, he has to blitz because he's not going to win early and fast with rushing 4. He just isn't. And so it's literally like one of those things where you live by the blitz, you die by the blitz kind of situations. But when they did only rush 4, their coverage did hold up really, really well in this game. As much as I was talking about Connor earlier, the rest of the secondary, they covered these guys really well. And the Eagles have some great receivers, right? Like they got a really potent passing attack, and they did not make things easy for Jalen Hurts in this game. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's the bright spot moving forward, is that maybe the Chiefs have less pass rush but better coverage, and they just play this bend don't break defense, and they just make it annoying and a pain in the ass for every offense to go on long drives and score against them, and that's how they win right this year. Yeah. It's not flashy, it's not sexy, it's not fun to watch, but I have a feeling that this team might not be flashy, sexy, or fun to watch for a large chunk of this year. That doesn't mean they can't win football games, right? And that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah. And yeah, that was the really encouraging thing, is that like, that's what I think that was one of the most frustrating parts about their week 1 loss to me, was like how disorganized the secondary looked. So I think it was really encouraging to see them take a step forward. And yes, and inevitably, like, because we did see multiple times where Jalen Hurts was just hanging on to the ball forever because they weren't getting pressure up front, but he had nowhere to go with it. And that's really encouraging for the overall like defensive outlook moving forward, because I think they'll get better as the season goes on. Hopefully these young guys will continue to see more expanded roles, and if they get healthy, then I think the Chiefs defense still has a chance to be like really, really solid. And then hopefully the offense just figures things out and they get healthy. And now, well, we'll see if Worthy's able to return next week. It's Sunday Night Football against the New York Giants. But like he's going to be playing with some kind of like shoulder harness on, according to the reports from this morning, Rocky, because he's dealing with a torn labrum as well. And so I think he can play through it. They don't think he has to have surgery, but like I'm questioning like how quickly they need to try to like rush him back at this point, because I do think that he is a difference maker for the Chiefs offense, and hopefully that makes things better. But at the end of the day, I think we simply aren't going to see like a super reliable passing game from this team until they get Rashee Rice back into the fold after week 6.
I mean, probably not. And the thing that worries me about Xavier Worthy is that there's a 50% chance of re-injury with this injury, right? Like it's one of those things where, yeah, he can come back whenever, but there's a 50% chance that he gets hit and he re-injures the same injury again. And then if that happens, he's shut down for the year. Right. And so you just don't know until you get out there and you play with it. And so it's like, do you like they have to rush him back because they need him, but at the same time, it's like, is it foolish to try to bring him back so quickly, knowing that he has a partially torn labrum, knowing that he has this separated shoulder with a harness on it? Like, are you being your most prudent in the long term of the season, or is it kind of a panic move of saying we need playmakers now because we don't want to go 0-3 to start the year? Right. And if that's your motivation, I think you're operating underneath the wrong set of like guiding principles, right? You should always do what's best for the team and best for the player. And I would say that might be resting, even as much as it sucks, resting Worthy an extra week to try to make sure that like his like chance of re-injury is lower. Right. And so like
Yeah.
it worries me that they're rushing him back because they feel like they need a playmaker. And then they're going to try to dial up 10 design plays for him in a game, and he's going to get re-injured again. Like I don't know. It's I'm less than confident about the handling of it. But then again, like that's why they're doctors and I'm just a podcaster. So, I'll trust the doctors on this one. I just hope that they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm frozen here. What's going on?
You know what? Just let it go, Steven. Let it go. Let it go. Can't hold you back anymore.
Yeah. I do think that the Giants are quietly in week 3 like a tougher matchup than a lot of people realize. Like I don't think the Giants are a particularly good football team, but that defensive line is a problem. That defensive line for New York has a lot of talent. And I don't think that they need to rush Worthy back. And it feels like there's already like some kind of urgency to like kind of get him back into the fold as fast as possible. But I hope they don't do that at the risk of like injuring him long term. They just need to make sure that they handle business in week 3 against the New York Giants. But that's really all I got, man. It was just an upsetting, frustrating day. Just not a fun football game to watch. We just see Patrick Mahomes out there fighting and doing everything he can. And just right now, the Chiefs just aren't good enough. And I still think that there's improvements. I still think there's ways for them to get better. But they just have a lot that they've got to figure out here pretty fast, Rocky, and they got to start putting some things together to make sure that they can start winning some football games and get this thing turned around here pretty quick.
100%. And here's the thing, like to Ron's point, he just posted in the chat there, the crazy that it was one of the worst offensive performances we've seen by the Chiefs, but they were the better offense today. That's actually true. And that's honest to God, back-to-back weeks that the Eagles offense hasn't looked good. Right. So if you're an Eagles fan, you've got to be concerned about this offense. I think
they were really dependent on Hurts' legs in week 1, which the Chiefs did a good job of not letting him do today.
And so you got to be so like I don't think that the Eagles maybe are this offensive juggernaut that's going to like run the ball back and repeat by any means. And I don't know. I haven't seen a team in the NFL that if the Chiefs are firing all cylinders, I don't think the Chiefs can beat. Right? I think the Chiefs have it in them to beat the Chargers. I think the Chiefs have it in them to beat the Bills or the Baltimore Ravens after week 1. After that performance,
those Packers look pretty scary right now.
Give me a break. Like I'll believe in the like. I'm not a Packers believer. I don't think that Micah Parsons all of a sudden one linebacker makes them a Super Bowl contender. Like they're fine. They're a good team. Right. But I still don't think that they're the team to beat in the NFC. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But here's the problem is that the talent deficit is so much less in the NFC versus the AFC. Like I would take the Chargers, the Bills, the Ravens over any other team in the NFC not named the Eagles right now. So you can say that the Packers are so good and everything, but who are they playing? Right? Like what teams are they beating? You know what I mean? Like you could say, okay, like I mean, just saying, I don't think that the NFC teams are as good as the AFC teams.
I mean, they beat a team that was in the NFC Championship game last year on Thursday night.
And you think that the Washington Commanders are better than the Bills or the Ravens or the
No, I didn't
Chargers?
say that. I'm just saying they beat a pretty good football team. They beat a team that's supposed to be on the rise, Rocky, and they did it pretty convincingly. And then they dominated a Lions team that came out today and dropped 50 points and looked like they were the unstoppable offensive force again after getting shut down by the Packers last week.
So you're drinking the Packers Kool-Aid. Am I saying, are you a
I
cheesehead now, Steven? Is that what it is?
Good.
Are you officially turning in your KC fandom to be a cheesehead?
I think that they've got a well-built roster that doesn't have a lot of holes. And I think they've got a good offensive line. Now they've got a good defensive line that's even better with Micah Parsons. And I feel like they can go toe-to-toe with a lot of teams in the NFL, but then that'll wind up being dependent on Jordan Love and his decision-making at times, which is highly suspect. So I think they're really good. I think the Chiefs can bounce back. I think they can get this thing figured out, and hopefully it starts as early as next week against the New York Giants on Sunday Night Football, because we do not want the Chiefs to go 0-3. But thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Stay locked in right here on Foolish Club Media all week. Have everything you need to know. Nightly fix coming your way Monday through Thursday. Showing BK, Beach Season, Brian's World. Everything covering your Kansas City Chiefs and pretty much anything else that we want to talk about. So thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Stay locked in, subscribe, rate, and review. And we will talk to you guys tomorrow as we turn the page to week 3 of the NFL season.